Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PGP podcast, your one-stop shop for all the gaming news you need to know about. Today, I'm surrounded by my co-host, Garden. Hello.
Hello.
So there's been a lot of movement this week in the gaming industry regarding Sony, regarding Microsoft, and even Ubisoft. So we'll start today with one big news that happened this week. It was about Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is getting remade by the studio Ubisoft Singapore, which is responsible for the project Skull and Bones right now. And Skull and Bones is in a pretty messy situation right now, so we'll see how this project comes out. But then after this project, they should be doing the Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And also there's a lot of project related to Assassin's Creed right now. There's 11 projects running. This is just one more on top of all of those lists. So what do you think about it, Garden?
I mean, I was very interested in like the other kind of new Assassin's Creed that are kind of coming out. And so the fact that there's another one that's in the making, it's like I feel like people Assassin's Creed fans are just going to be overloaded with a lot of new content. Yeah.
Yeah, of course there's gonna be a lot of Assassin's Creed. If you think 11 projects in the next 4 or 5 years, it's gonna be a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that depending on what the fans liked, I think they're going to be pretty happy that there's a lot of stuff coming out. Yeah, so they're going to be really excited, in my opinion.
For the next news, we have Jim Ryan, the big boss of PlayStation, made an email with Phil Spencer this week. There has been an exchange taken from a couple of months ago. The exchange was pretty interesting, and we're gonna read it right here. We have Tom Warren here on Twitter. So the first email was from Jim Ryan, and it was a big one. So, would you like to read it, Garden?
Okay. Um, so email from Jim Ryan at 9:55, May 26, 2022, to Phil Spencer. He writes, Phil, thank you for your email. We agree that ensuring Activision games are available on PlayStation is the right thing to do for gamers and the industry. However, Microsoft's original proposal did not fulfill this objective and left us with serious concerns that our counter proposal is designed to address. Far from being unusual, our counter proposal represents the minimum needed to respect gamers' interests and maintain competition. We believe there are two fundamental principles that are critical to mitigating the potential negative impact to gamers from the Activision acquisition. The first principle is that the commitment to availability of the Call of Duty and other Activision games on PlayStation must be sufficiently broad to fully align with gamer expectations. To do the right thing for gamers, it is not enough to represent that a particular selection of older titles will remain on PlayStation. Rather, it is essential to agree that all Activision titles will be made on PlayStation, irrespective of their original release dates, or whether they can be classified as part of a particular franchise, just as they have been historically. And this commitment needs to be a lengthy one, not just a few years after the acquisition.
Principle is that in addition to addressing the scope of the content available on PlayStation, the parties' agreement must address the manner in which the games will be made available. If Activision games are made available only on terms that are disadvantageous for PlayStation in comparison with other platforms, this could be tantamount to not making them available on PlayStation at all. As one example, making Activision games available on PlayStation after those games have been made available on Xbox would be contrary to the spirit of Microsoft's commitment to keep Activision games on PlayStation, as well as being unscientific victory to gamers. With these principles in mind, let me briefly address the contours of our counter proposal. The first term of our proposal is designed to advance the principle stated above, i.e., satisfying gamers' expectation by ensuring that all Activision games are available on PlayStation. Please note that the reference to price parity relates specifically to the wholesale price on which PlayStation is offering Activision titles for resale on the PS Store. The second term of our proposal is designed to advance the second principle described above. Unequal treatment of Activision games in subscription services would lead to unequal availability of the games. As long as you agree to the fundamental principle, Activision games should not receive unequal treatment of the party's subscription services, we are open to further discussing the details of how this might be accomplished. The third term of our proposal simply recognizes the reality that upon completion of the acquisition of Activision, it would not seem to make logical sense for the financial, marketing, and other arrangements previously negotiated between SIE Activision to continue to apply to the post-acquisition world. We believe this common sense step is to the benefit of both Microsoft and SIE. Regarding Bethesda, I was making a more general point during our discussion that the equal treatment of Bethesda games would be a logical subject for the parties to discuss because it involves some of the same concern as the availability or unequal treatment of Activision games. We would welcome discussing the subject as part of an agreement that advances the two fundamental principles discussed above. We would appreciate you confirming that these terms are acceptable as a framework for the parties to negotiate an appropriate written agreement. If we can confirm this, I will instruct my team to get started immediately on preparing an agreement that can be finalized following negotiation with your team. Please let me know if you have any further questions. Regards, Jim. And then there was the Phil Spencer answer.
Yes. So Phil Spencer answered on the 8th of 2022. So that was quite a month later at 10:56 a.m. And he responded with, "Thanks for your response. As I stated to you in my emails and on our calls, Sony is an important distributor of Activision content, and we would like to find a way to maintain that relationship once we've closed the Activision acquisition. I continue to stand behind the written statement agreement I sent you on January 30, 2022, with my signature memorializing our commitment to Sony. The agreement would keep all existing Activision console titles on Sony, including future versions in the Call of Duty franchise or any other current Activision franchise in Sony through December 31 to 2027. That includes content and future parity, as well as making it clear that we would not feature any timed exclusive releases of such content on Xbox consoles. It is hard to align the principles set out in your email of May 26, 2022, with Sony's leading role in the market. As I said before, we believe that keeping these titles in Sony, as we did with Minecraft, is the right thing for the industry and for gamers."
So yeah, so basically Jim Ryan is saying like we want to offer you like an agreement with three parts, and basically Phil Spencer says no, we're gonna stick with our agreement that we tried to propose to you that goes until 2027. It's kind of
Yeah.
weird for Jim Ryan to try and tell like a big Xbox guy like Phil Spencer to like manage his business, like saying that he should follow his principle and everything. I don't think that it's a good move, and I don't think that Jim Ryan looks very good in that email personally.
True, but you know, PlayStation's like, but also Phil said that in his email that you guys kind of have like this leading monopoly or whatever is what they were trying to say, and that's why they don't need to kind of follow that stuff. 'Cause it's like, why do we need to follow that if you guys You guys have like this leading, and you're leading in the market anyways with these games and stuff. And so the problem is, I feel like
The problem
like
is that they did that with Bethesda, and all the Bethesda games are now exclusive. Bethesda was
yeah,
also a publisher, and when they bought it, like Activision, nothing went to Sony. Everything Starfield is gonna be exclusive to Xbox. There is all sort of things that are all exclusive to Xbox. Like Hi-Fi Rush was made by Bethesda and exclusive to Xbox. The new Redfall. So everything made by Bethesda is now exclusive. So why wouldn't they do the same thing after their agreement to 2027? You know?
yeah, that's why they felt like, I don't know, man, like that's why we want to like lay out these principles, because they felt like they were kind of left out in the market when that during the Bethesda thing. So yeah, but then like
Because it's true that
Phil is just
Minecraft is still on PlayStation and is still updated on PlayStation. The problem is Minecraft buyout happened before the Bethesda, and Bethesda was way bigger, and they made Bethesda stuff exclusive. And even if they don't put it exclusive, like let's say that they buy Activision and they made it available on Xbox Game Pass for free. Do you think that
mhm.
this is not gonna bring everyone who plays 100% of Call of Duty on Xbox?
It's, I mean, if they put it in the Game Pass, you're saying?
Yeah, because why would they buy it now?
I mean, yeah, that's true. They would just pay for their,
It's a
that
yearly
would be
release
way,
of $80, so now they pay 100 for a Game Pass, and they get a year of the game they won for free and all the
yeah,
bonus stuff.
yeah, like that would be a that would be a problem. That would be a problem with the sales and stuff like that. Yeah. Because then because people would have it too easy. And also they would just, if it was exclusively, by the way, on Xbox, and then they did that Game Pass thing, that would just completely destroy the market.
Yeah, that would completely destroy the market. I don't think Sony would survive like an Activision
Yeah.
buyout like it's happening right now.
Mhm. Yeah, and put them putting it on Game Pass would just make gamers so happy, and that would be so that would be so disadvantageous for
Yeah,
Sony.
because
And
and that's what Jim Ryan said, like in his second term, saying that the subscription services should be the same in both things. He's basically saying if Call of Duty is free on Game Pass, it should be free on PlayStation, which is
Mhm.
crazy. If you pay like 69 billion to buy a company, you're not gonna
Mhm.
not charge for the game that you're selling. You know, you're not gonna
Yeah,
do an easy deal with Sony and not make
yeah,
money on what you do. So yeah, it's a sketchy situation right now. Both parties have like a lot of good points, but they all look bad right now. So the next news was about
with the Microsoft news.
Satya Nadella from Microsoft, the Microsoft CEO. He made a statement about the Sony exclusive practices, and he looked really bad. So here's the article from The Verge. It was a Microsoft CEO says he wants to end Xbox exclusive, but blames Sony. So when we look at this, we can see here that Microsoft CEO um, Shaya, what is his name? Satya Nadella, he said that statement. If it was up to me, I would love to get rid of the entire exclusives on consoles. But that's not for me to define, especially as a low share player in the console market. The dominant player there is Sony has defined market competition using exclusives. So that's the world we live in. I have no love for that world, said Nadella.
Hmm.
So that was a statement. When you say you're in the gaming industry and you have no love for that world, I don't think that looks good.
It's very interesting though, because he was like, he says he would love to just get rid of the entire exclusives, but he doesn't want to do that because Sony has exclusives. So it feels like it would be unfair. But
Also feels like he's blaming Sony a lot.
Yeah,
I feel like he's blaming Sony for being like leaders in
exclusive.
the
Yeah,
market
having
and making exclusive. But
yeah,
the thing is, like way before Sony, there was Nintendo and Sega doing the exclusive thing, because in the
true.
gaming industry you need hardware, and when you do like hardware architecture, you cannot make thing available on all platforms. So let's say that you're Sony making a PlayStation 3 with like a special core processor. Well, then everybody else is screwed, because they cannot make, either you make games for this architecture or you make things for another architecture. So like there's stuff like that to design a game, like you need the architectures like to be fixed and everything. So it's kind of weird to hear that in the console market, because it's always been
Mm-hmm.
like a how do you say that, a war on exclusivity, and like
Mm-hmm.
having two different choice. Because if you look at the DVD, also the Blu-ray HD DVD war, like at the end, like all the companies finished by doing Blu-rays at the end. But in the
Yeah.
gaming industry, like you have different type of architecture. So people who like develop for this type of machine, like will always like continue doing things for these type of machines. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. For me, I feel like this makes him look a little bad. Like I know they say they don't want exclusivity, but I feel like Sony is not responsible for starting this practice for
Yeah,
sure.
that is quite true, but I feel like the reason why they always bring Sony is because they're kind of competing with them. They feel like they're more of a threat than the other ones. So that's why they would
They feel like
single
they're
out
their
Sony.
only threat. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if they destroy
Mhm.
them, they have no threat.
Yeah, that's what they think. Yeah.
That's what they want, I think.
Well, scroll down a bit though, because there was a little conversation with
So,
Jim
Microsoft
Jim
lawyer,
Ryan.
do you think it would be better if Microsoft kept Activision game on PlayStation? Ryan says, yes, I do. Microsoft, do you believe it's in Microsoft's best interest to make Activision games available on multiple platforms? No, I don't agree with that. What?
That's what Ryan was saying. Because Microsoft was saying, so do you believe it's in Microsoft's best interest to make other games on multiple platforms? And he's like, no.
So
But
it's
he
better for
agrees.
Microsoft to put it on PlayStation. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
No, but continue because it gets worse.
So, if you were running Xbox, would you recommend making Call of Duty and other Activision games exclusive to Xbox and PC? That's an hypothetical question that I don't wish to answer. Microsoft, so you don't get to answer? Ryan, I don't have enough knowledge to answer that question.
But
What?
that last part doesn't even make sense. That's not
What?
true. He he just feels like it's much better to put it on PlayStation. That's his whole point.
Oh, and
And
that
he's
Jim
like,
Ryan from PlayStation. Oh boy.
yeah.
Oh my god, they look so bad. Everybody out there, they look so bad right now. The big
Mm-hmm.
people at Microsoft, the big people at Sony, like, what the hell is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay, so it's even worse than I thought. Jim
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, like, has been bad on communication since he's been with PlayStation. He's not my favorite president of PlayStation at all. I hope he's gonna be changed soon, but whatever. I think that this mess is gonna hurt him a lot. That's for sure. So in other news today, we have Test Drive Unlimited Solar Ground. So this game has been was supposed to come out in September 2022. It's now going to be next gen only, so they dropped out the PS4 and Xbox One consoles, and will now be coming out first trimester of 2024. This is basically another of these car games that's there's so much like with Forza, with Gran Turismo, and all this stuff. Um, I feel like this is a lesser known series. It's been out for a while. I think it's like the sixth or seventh game in the series. So, are you into driving game, Garden?
Yeah, I've said that before.
Yeah,
And when I was looking at the uh the Steam page for this game, it
yeah,
actually looked really interesting. Like I was looking at obviously there are many uh like there are many view of what the game. I don't know if it's what the game is about, but it's like just essentially just to show the game. And I was looking at the images of the places that you will be driving in, and it looks really nice. I would
yeah,
say. Like I just feel like it'd be a really nice car game just to chill and play. Cause like I have played quite a bit of car games before, and I think I think it's really nice. Like people who are car game enthusiasts would enjoy this. I haven't seen what cars they would have. I'm sure they're probably going to surprise people with the cars that they're going to put in here.
yeah. And it's
But
always nice to have competition. It's a crowded
yeah,
competition over there, but I feel like there's always improvement to be made. So
yeah,
I feel like if they can put something special, something like to their own, maybe they can make a project that is gonna be appealing to everyone. And they pushed
yeah,
it back a long time, so maybe they're expanding on the project. It might be good to take a little
yeah,
more time, to make the game better.
yeah.
So, yeah. So now that EA is not the only one making Star Wars game, we have some news about the new Star Wars Quantum Dream project called Project Eclipse. It's supposed to be releasing. We have a release window for now. It's now gonna be released in 2026. So the studio expanded from the French studio that it started, where they made Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain, and now they are making this Star Wars Eclipse, this huge project that looks very interesting. So now that we have a release window, what do you think about this project? Are you excited, Garden?
I think it's going to be amazing because I have hang on. I think it's going to be amazing because I have seen Detroit Become Human gameplay, and I always wanted to play that game. It was just one of the most popular games out there. And the way it was so realistic and so interactive, that game was just amazing. As well as I've played the demo of Heavy Rain, and I've seen a little bit of gameplay of Heavy Rain. And that one equally is amazing in terms of its storyline. And I'm gonna just say
Yeah, both of these games have this incredible narrative for sure.
and then seeing that they're making a new Star Wars type of game, I'm just blown out. I feel like they're gonna make such a good project. I'm really excited to see what it looks like, honestly.
Me too. I'm very excited and seeing that they're expanding and putting a release date so far away. I feel like it
Yeah,
shows the scope of what they're going for, and I'm very hopeful to see what they can do with the Star Wars franchise, because the Star Wars franchise has always been a nice in video games. Like, it's always been there. It's always been used like to good, to bad, to medium. There's been some amazing Star Wars games from the 64, and now there's amazing Star Wars games coming out from Ubisoft, EA, and all these developers. We just had the Jedi Survivor that came out a little while ago, and it was super good. So I'm very excited to see Star Wars Eclipse, and 2026 is far away, but let them take their time and see what they can pull out.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this one. So yeah. So also from another news from the jury that happened during the Xbox Activision buyout, there has been a PS5 SLIM announced by Microsoft. So basically, from the show of documents that they had, some of the information were not properly blacked out, and so they found out that there's gonna be a PS5 release with no CD that would be at a reduced price and would be a slim version. And it would be releasing this year, and this comes from Insider Gaming, which is a good source in terms of they called the Project Q that we talked about, the one with the screen in the middle from Sony. They called a lot of stuff that was right. So what do you think about it, Garden, and would you be interested in a PS5 Slim at a cheaper price?
Um, I mean, honestly, I have no opinion. Like, it's just more smaller, compact, kind of like other consoles like Xbox made. But it's very interesting that we were able to find out through this kind of information. Yeah, because they were generally just talking about it in the case, and it wasn't related to PlayStation releasing. It was generally
Exactly.
related to like price. They were just talking about price. But the fact that this was able to release and everybody's pretty excited to know about this is very interesting. I feel very indifferent about it, but I'm sure a lot of people are very excited to know that this is coming out because I think a lot of people would love to get PlayStation, but in a more like cheaper price.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, and this opens up like the way for the rumors that were before, where they said that the new PS5 was supposed to be released with no CD but with a CD attachment to it. So if they release a cheaper PS5 Slim, that would save in like storing facilities and stuff, because you save a lot of space, so you can store a lot more. And when you can store more, the buyers are gonna be more happy because you're taking less of their storage space and everything. And if you put out a CD drive that's just attachable, now all PS5 can have a CD, even though you bought the original one with no CD. So yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think it's everybody's talking about it right now. It's a huge news because new hardware doesn't come like every seconds, so that was a big news this week. So
Yeah.
I wanted to finish today with two things. The first thing would just take a look at the games coming out in July, see what's coming out that is interesting. We have some of the games, as always, that have been announced like last week, like Pikmin, and I just wanted to just take a little look at what's interesting coming out in the next few weeks. This is coming out July 14th. Exo Primal, the new multiplayer game from Capcom, from the dinosaur that are falling out from the sky, the co-op shooter thing. So yeah, there's Pikmin 4 at the end of the month, July 21. So it's coming out already, just been announced, and we're gonna
Yeah.
get to play really soon.
I was thinking of getting like the older version so I can kind of uh get a taste of what it's like. Because
Oh,
I just heard it's really good. Yeah.
this game, really hyped about this game.
Remnant.
Remnant 2. I played the first game so much. It's an amazing game. I really want to play the second one. And it's releasing July 25th. This is a four-player co-op shooter that you have to dodge like Bloodborne a little bit, but with third-person shooter mechanic.
Hmm.
Then July 26th, we also have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart coming out on PC. So this was an amazing game of PS5. I love this game. I finished it. Really good.
Hmm.
Double Dragon Gaiden. What the hell? Rise of the Dragons. I didn't see that coming.
Wait, why does that look like a Street Fighter type of game?
Well, it's
Yeah.
an old. It's more like the first TMNT games.
Oh, I
It's
think I've heard
like
of that.
when you're like running down the streets and just punching people.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those games. Hmm.
The Expanse, the Telltale series. This
Wait,
is
is it
a sci-fi
Telltale
TV
series?
show. Yeah, they are remaking some projects now. Disney Illusion
Oh,
Island. Oh, this was the one that looked exactly like Rayman Legends. This is like a
yeah.
2D side scroller. It looks really good. Really, really good. If you want to play
But
multiplayer,
it's gonna be played on Nintendo Switch. Yeah.
yes. I think it's exclusive to Nintendo Switch, yeah.
Yeah.
F1 Manager, always nice for the fans of racing. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, some great releases with Disney Illusion Island and some big Remnant 2 for me is really excited. Pikmin 4 and
Hmm.
Exoprimal is gonna be a good month, and I hope that we can play. We can try some games together, like Exoprimal maybe, or Remnant
Yeah.
2. And also, so the last thing I wanted to do today is a little special thing. Okay, I'm gonna try and make, and I've got some
Hmm.
ideas of like games that I wanted to add to the list. So
Hmm.
first off, we have in start with the overall like game of the year. We
Hmm.
have, I think that all of these could be in the nomination for overall game of the year.
Hmm.
I think I would change it for RE4 remake,
Oh yeah. Oh yes. RE4 remake. Yep.
and then Metroid Prime. I don't think
Nope. Never even heard of that too. Yeah.
so. Right now, I think that overall game of the year, I wanted to add Zelda
Oh yes, the
Tears
Zelda one.
of the Kingdom that just came out. I think this is like one of the best game I've ever played. I still played it today. I'm just going through the adventure a little by little, playing like slowly and just taking it all in. There's a lot to take in. So there's been the Metroid Prime remaster that's been really liked by a lot of people. Resident Evil 4 remake. I think this is gonna make the game of the year. So for best fighting, I think we could have Street Fighter 6,
Hmm.
because this is for sure gonna be at least a nominee.
What about the Mortal Kombat? I think it was Mortal Kombat.
But Mortal Kombat 1 is not released yet. But I think that it's fair to
Mhm.
say that this would be in
Yeah.
the nominee for best fighting game this year,
Yeah.
if it actually
Yeah.
released. Okay, I played a lot of Diablo 4. I think this is gonna be a nominee for overall game of the year.
Yeah.
Sincerely, I love it. It's really well done. It's just what Diablo should be. I think it's like
Yeah.
just a great game. I have nothing but to say about it.
What about the Spider-Man remastered?
The what? The Spider-Man remaster,
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2. Which Spider-Man remaster?
I mean, so the actually not remastered, but the one that's coming out this. I think it was coming out this year, or was it coming out next year? Like the new one.
Spider-Man 2. I think yeah, it's coming out this year for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Then yeah, that's Spider-Man 2.
but I think that this is gonna be so big when it comes out, where we won't miss it. It's not something.
Mm-hmm.
I added the Rogue Legacy 2 because it came out this year officially on consoles. Really good
Mm-hmm.
game as an indie. Monster Hunter Rise was released at the very beginning of the year. I don't think this has any place anywhere though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna add Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that one came out this year though. Yeah.
That was a really, really good game. I think this is worth it, at least a nomination.
Yeah.
I think for indie, I would add Humanity, the puzzler from Sony, the puzzle game with people. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like Hogwarts Legacy. I think for sure is gonna be nominee, 100%.
Yeah. What about oh no, it's not coming. No, wait, what about Final Fantasy 16?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Good one. And isn't Rebirth coming out this year too?
Mm-hmm. Wait, we have to verify that.
I'm not sure. Could you check?
Yep. I'm going to verify that.
I think that Final Fantasy 16 will also
Oh,
be in
no.
best direction and in best narrative. Just a
Yes.
guess.
Yes. Yes. And no, Rebirth is coming in early 2024. So
Okay, okay.
yeah.
So best shooter, I would put high on life because it could be nominated last year because it came out
Yeah.
too late. I would also put Metroid Prime in this category.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm seeing right now on what came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Of what like could be a good game of the year contender.
Wait, what about the Exo Primal one though?
Exo Primal, I think, is not gonna make it in the nominees.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a fun game for us to play and maybe stream, but no
But
way
you
this
don't.
is gonna be a game of the year.
Okay.
Like, if Remnant is really good and it gets more attention than the first one, it could be, but
Mm-hmm.
not Exo Primal. Exo Primal is. It's just not that kind of project. It just looks so dumb. Like, how can this be like a really high number? I don't see it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I like how the list is looking at right now. I'm gonna put also Hogwarts Legacy into game direction and narrative, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna put Hi-Fi Rush in best art direction.
What about our Resident Evil 4 in shooter, I think. No, sorry, not shooter, fighter.
Resident Evil 4? No way.
Yeah.
It's not a fighting game. It's a survival horror.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I think I'm good with that. I think there's still gonna be a lot of things coming out this year. I mean, I feel like Zelda is gonna be tough to move with Hogwarts Legacy and stuff. It's gonna be a tough year to make their mark, like, and to really
Yeah.
be the one who's gonna be the best. In India, I feel like the competition is still really open. Fighting game, I think, is
Mhm.
gonna be rough because we're gonna have Tekken coming out also.
Mhm.
Art direction, I think there's like some Persona game coming out this year. It's like usually they have like a really good art style. We'll see if that comes out. But yeah, I'm
What
really.
about wait? What about Only Up though? That one was like very popular amongst gamers.
Which one?
Only Up.
Only Up.
Yeah, that was released this year.
Yeah, I don't know this game.
You don't think it's you don't think it's it could be the game of the year?
Hmm. I don't. As an indie game, because this is an indie. This is not a full game.
Yeah. Like it could be possibly from indie then. Yeah.
Yeah, I could put
Like
it in
just
indie for sure.
okay. Because almost everybody was playing this game. Because it's almost like that one with the I always forget what it's called. The one with where you're trying to go up, but you're in like this little, you know, pot. Like this guy's this little
Oh
pot,
boy,
and then he's
yeah.
yeah, that's literally almost like that, except you're just kind of going up, climbing, with doing parkour like with the little
You've
kids.
seen their new game with the guy? Oh my god. The 35
Yeah,
year old man who gets out of his basement.
yeah,
Baby
hmm
steps. Should put it in the game of the years right now.
yeah,
But yeah. So that was a nice show. I think that we'll continue updating it throughout the year, and it was really nice seeing you and speaking to you. It's always a good time, and let's hope there's a lot of interesting news next week when Prolly is coming back.
yeah.
So, if you'd like to shout out to anything or Garden
You can subscribe to my YouTube channel below. Yeah,
at Loopy Mommy.
yeah, Loopy Mommy.
And if you like what we do, just like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye. See you next week.
See you next week.